And we are now going to see a couple of former winners taking on injury replacement. Sebastian Zietz, Joel Parkinson after his 4th bell in 2016. Taj Burrow chasing his 2nd. Should be a good battle. We just witnessed Kai Otten in the first heat of the morning getting the win over Kelly Slater, who has just had his 3rd consecutive round 1 loss.
Moraine surf on a short board and finish at Waimea. So a lot of Hawaiians are comfortable with switching it up.
Well, here goes one of the best, Joel Parkinson, looking at home at Bells Beach as he hangs on that rail for a smooth first turn up into the bowl and unleashes a more aggressive carve. This wave's starting to flatten out, but Joel, he'll stick with it. Just looks so comfortable on this wall. Doesn't need any time to figure this wave out. He drifts that tail, just mixing things up a little bit. You can see Sebastian Zietz giving it a little more on the outside as Joel just continues to rack up the points right through to the inside as he kicks out just over the shallow inside shore break there. 17.5 minutes to go.
Really exert yourself. Let's see what Seabass does on the outside. Wow, beautiful on all cylinders right there. Clean rail surfing, and really got the tail to slide out there, grab that rail. That's kind of signature for Seabass. So that's 2 big moves. That first carve was the turn of the morning so far. But as Seabass does from time to time, he lets go of that attention just a little bit. And he didn't take care of that last maneuver, and that's going to cost him. And there's that classic swooping style from Parko. And wow, that second carve was just pure beauty. So a lot of power, a lot of rail in the water, Ronnie. That was textbook. But again, he spends a ton of energy and time milking this thing so far. I mean, this is all the way to the beach towards Winky Pop. Judges won't pay too much attention to that little tail slide. You're going to have to do something really special on the inside to garner any more points. But I tell you what, Parko, he's going to be exhausted after that ride. You can see right there, he even buckled a little bit on that cutback.
Be a little buckle, but I think after a few months of surf and snapper and running around the point there, he can deal with a long ride here at Bells Beach. Taj Burrow.
Big difference between him and Sebastian too is watch how extended Parko gets. This is just the setup cutback. As you mentioned, Ronnie, spot on, just a setup turn. He wants to save his energy and power for this carve right here. But watch Joel's body. He's still going to use extension. He's going to stand tall right around there. Right there. See how extended he got. So again, it was a maneuver that he wasn't trying to leave it all there on the table. You know, it was all about being clean and having that flow.
Some of the history here for Joel at Bells Beach. 2 wins on the screen there. He also 13 minutes to go, and definitely some comparisons have to be made. Because Joel, he was silky smooth.
Totally commit to a dangerous maneuver.
Well, let's see if Taj Burrow can get himself into this heat. Hasn't been able to do better than 2.63 so far. Has some speed to burn. Not a massive turn. The wall's a bit steeper here though. And he gets a nice critical maneuver in. A hard section to read for the 3rd maneuver. Bit of a snap under the lip. But he'll be looking for a solid finish here on the inside. He'd be aware that this isn't really an excellent score just yet. And he's going to get something to work with here. Has some speed. This wave's starting to ramp up. And Taj, just a tidy finish there. I thought he might have gone,
you know, strong off the lip to finish it off, but nonetheless, he's in the heat with that score, so he's not going to be stoked, but it's, you know, it's a keeper. But there's a couple of missed times here. Long way, but he took off deep, so this is that tricky section where you have to get around it, and then he's just a little too late, but he did carve down, and way too late on this second one, so he just went for kind of an awkward under the lip. But again, I like that he grinded it out. I think, you know, of course he realizes, hey, I'm not barking on a 8.5 or something, but I can get in the mix here with a 5.5 even. So he's looking for a ramp right here, something a little steeper, but see how that wave bends away from him and gets steep just when it hits that boil. So that was the right choice of moves for Taj.
And it's Sebastian Zietz with priority. He's going to swing on this one. I think Joel Parkinson maybe did a pretty good sales job on this wave. It's flattening out a little bit, but Seabass is going to get one section to dig into, and he does well. A wild reverse. Extremely unpredictable, this character. And he throws down one of the more interesting manoeuvres of the contest so far. And he's not done with this wave. And he is going to finish it off in style.
Wow.
But Sebastian Zietz, no mistakes on the end of that ride, but that's the danger. This is what he did to Mick Fanning, doing some unpredictable turns. And the judges love him. Here's Taj Burrow now. He had a 5.83 on his last wave, so now chasing down an excellent number, but he can't see it on this ride.
Yeah, I want to see his first carve too, and his 5.83. You know, Parko's got that silky long 7.5.
Well, let's see if Parko's experience pays off in this lineup. He waited for this wave. Strong first turn, looking a little speedier than he did on his first ride, and ready to unleash on this piece of water. And it's a nice critical power carve. Solid surfing from Joel Parkinson as he looks for a big finish here. And he's going to get a little sticky there on the foam, but it will be a decent number for Joel. Some really strong.
And first up, we're going to look at Parko. Just kind of cruise around, but he is laying down some serious rail work. Nice bottom turn there from Joel. Got really low to his board. This is the money turn. Clean wrap again. So, I mean, power surfing on display here from Joel, but always in control. Never really throwing caution into the wind. But that's okay. You know, we're at Bell's and we're looking at some smooth faces, so he is just putting that classic rail game to work. It's gonna reward him. I think that's gonna be another solid score right in that 7 range. But this maneuver is wild. Power, commitment, hucking his tail almost in slow motion towards the beach, but that was right in the most critical part of the wave. That was extremely wild and dangerous, and he pulled it off pretty smooth. And a decent finish here, Ronnie. Little snap, kind of got a 3 for 1. Another snap, and then a float to finish. Little body language there for Seabass, so he's feeling it.
Let's have a look at this thing, because we've seen some variations of that grab rail reverse. This one's different. It's like a big carving grab rail move, and the fins just disconnect. Wow. And he somehow reels this thing back in. Have a look at that. It's almost like a foam climb on the way back around.
Gumby. He is definitely not hindered by any kind of injuries or a tight back. That was crazy Gumby control right there. Bit of a club sandwich there. He did pick the nose, but it was Bell's style.
It's pretty incredible out there, except the heat just kind of went really lully, and that benefited me. You know, Kelly can get a 7.5 any day of the week, so the fact the waves cooperated for me was pretty blessed. I was blessed.
And just thinking about those lulls, we saw all 3 surfers sitting at the back. Kelly had priority and only needing a score. You know, does that play on your mind, or is that weight on your shoulders? What's going on in the water when it's like that?
I kind of had to pull myself up. I started paddling for a few average ones, but I just...
Following your success in this event, they're lifted by the fact that you get that big result. So good work from Kai there, as we throw our attention back to heat number 8 of round 1 with not a lot of time on the clock, just on 50 seconds. And Joel Parkinson, he is out in front in this heat. The score's just coming through from that last exchange. Joel, Sebastian Zietz though, he's throwing down the moves of this heat. A lot of unpredictable surfing from the Hawaiian. Taj Burrow hasn't really been in it. 25 seconds to go as Taj makes his way down the line. And he's going to throw the tail. Just loses his footing though. 20 seconds to go. And here goes Sebastian Zietz, chasing a solid number, an 8.43 to get himself into the lead. Love that turn. He has that power game. He has that rail work that he can go to. And also, as we've seen in this heat, one of the most unpredictable surfers on the CT. We are still waiting for some numbers to come through now. Let's put the Anaconda squeeze on Sebastian Zietz with his second ride too, Joel, a 7.83. But have a look at the surfing here.
Yeah, he's got that extra speed over Parko for sure. Seabass, a lot of spark. And he carries a lot of speed through those hacks, through those slices. And then, you know, the culprit here for getting to 8.5 is the size of the wave. It's just too small. But really nice surfing. Board looks great. He's looking good.
The board looks pretty new in comparison to what he was riding on the Gold Coast too. And the score came through at a 6.97. Not enough. Joel Parkinson, former 3-time champ here, at Bells Beach will be marching on through to round 3. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Matt Wilkinson, the Jeep ratings leader, will hit the lineup. Joe Turpel and Martin Potter will step in for the call.